Thank you for hosting us. I want to first thank an honor to be here with our players, with Carson, with Akeem, with Cece, affectionately known as Francis Mainoa, and Wesley Basaint, which is here as well. These guys exemplify what the University of Miami student athlete and competitor is all about. We're really excited, and I would say the most exciting part about our team is they have the dominant trait of being a group of guys that love to work, and you can't throw enough at them. And they still manage to get all that work done while being great students, achieving the highest GPA they've achieved successively for 7 straight semesters, as well as leading the country community service hours. So we're growing both as people and as players. But we've signed and developed an incredible group of players in different forms and fashion, from the high school level to the portal method, and have brought in some really high-level coaches and human beings that we are really excited about, that have certainly helped us continue the upward trajectory of our program. And that being said, there's just a ton of energy and momentum surrounding our program right now, and our excitement is geared towards the fact that we get to start football fall camp, training camp, and get in there and really just be focused on our team, to establish our identity, to improve our technique and fundamentals, get in the best shape that we possibly can, to master our systems inside and out, name it, to get better at everything we do. So that being said, appreciate being here and open to questions.
Coach, thank you. We feel like our first 3 questions may come to your left. Your first one will be in the first row directly in front of you.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, Canes Connection, the NIL Collective. I know you spoke about that pretty openly, the collectives in the beginning of NIL, and just what you can say about where Canes Connection is in the grand scheme of the House settlement and how you work that all together and Miami's NIL situation moving forward.
Well, we've always been very well established. We've always been compliant, and we've been aggressive in the right kind of way and used it in a form and fashion that benefits our program and our players. In terms of where they are and all the details surrounding that, that's maybe a question for some other time, but you couldn't find a more professionally run organization than our collective.
Coach, again, your next question to your left, third row, young lady in the red dress.
Coach, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You hired 4 new defensive assistant coaches in this offseason, and you only have 1 returning. What went into that hiring process, and what are you expecting from them this season?
Sure. Well, into the hiring process, we certainly, after week 4 last year, we took a downturn. We slipped defensively, and I don't want to blame anybody. I always look at myself and say, what could I have done better? We had some injuries that led to some schematic changes that weren't the best for our football program. So a change had to be made, and we found a guy in Corey Heatherman who, it's not the fact that he was a highly coveted guy. It's the fact that he is an elite teacher and human being, and a guy that really does really well what we need our defense to do and to be. His use of personnel, his ability to adapt, his track record, and his productivity, particularly last year at Minnesota, was enough evidence for us to feel comfortable in bringing him in, and he hasn't disappointed. He brings an elite level of commitment, of work ethic, of teaching capabilities, and he's complemented by a former Cane, Damian Lewis, working with the defensive line, who is aggressive and has a commanding presence and an excellent football coach, as well as Zach Etheridge and Will Harris on the back end. And I want to mention Terry Jefferson also, is a local guy that's really worked hard, worked at Jacksonville State. He's also joined the secondary group also. But all in all, we felt we needed to make some changes in that department, and we made them. And we feel that not only are they the right coaches, they're the right people, and they're going to grant us better success.
Coach, same row. We're just going to slide down a few slots. Folks in the room, please, reminder to identify yourselves and the agency that you're with, please.
Hey, Coach. Is it on? Tyler Budge, CF Budge. I wanted to start with the same question I asked you last year. Did you get your Cuban coffee this morning? And if no, did Greg?
That's been a battle here, and I think, I think it'd be good if I could get some help from the locals. Si alguien habla español, por favor, ayúdenme. And it would be greatly appreciated, and I promise to return the favor at a fine dining establishment in Miami when you guys are down there.
In case I didn't say it, Tyler Budge, CF Budge. You've had some teams in Miami over the last couple of seasons that started the year really strong with some signature victories. And towards the end of the season, we've seen things sort of fizzle out toward the end of the year. Is that something that you guys have really focused on and talked about? And what do you think are some of the keys to starting strong and finishing strong as well?
No doubt. It's how you finish, right? It's how you finish. We've made a lot of progress over the last 3 years. I mean, year one, our roster was not really built to take on Power 4 football, and those were some lopsided games. You know, it was tough. And then in year two, every game was competitive, and we won a couple more. And then last year, we had a chance to win every single game, but we didn't. The bottom line is we didn't get it done. And it's more than, I know we pointed out the defense a little bit earlier, but you know what also fell apart at the end? Ball security, right? If you turn the ball over, you subject yourself to some not so positive outcomes. So without a doubt, finishing is a mentality. Finishing is a work ethic that comes with the offseason. And we've always, invested a ton of effort in those areas, and we've invested even more this offseason. And it'll be a big part of training camp as well.
Coach, your next question will come to the right side. Gentleman, third row, right at the edge.
Coach, Jesse Koger, PlantTheSpear.com. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. You guys have had a good bit of turnover at the skill positions on offense coming into the season, but you have some talent there, and you also brought in some guys from the portal. What have you seen from that group coming into this season?
Well, I've seen a lot of talent, and I've seen guys that also have a work ethic that is a little bit different in a positive way. We've always had hard workers on our football team. These guys seem to take the extra work to a different level. I think Coach Beard has done a very good job, so has Coach Varner. But I think that some of the seniors, some of the older guys like C.J. Daniels have taken a leadership role in bringing guys in before and after the mandatory sessions and getting some extra work in the form of the film room, in the form of route running and catching the football. And I see a group with a chip on its shoulder and with a lot to prove. And, we see a lot of stuff in practice that you can't really, gloat about out here because you haven't seen it, and there's no value in claiming certain things in the offseason. But we do feel very confident that group is up to the task, and not only to maintain the standard but to elevate it at some point in time. So we're excited about those guys. We push them hard, and we push them to be just as involved in the running game as they are in the passing game.
Same row, Coach, just 2 slots down.
Hey, Coach. Michael Hinton, also from PlantTheSpear.com.
How are you? I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Thank you. Glad to be
You
here.
had your coffee this morning?
I'm more of a Coca-Cola guy for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll skip that one.
Yeah. So you're having to replace Heisman Trophy winner, #1 overall draft pick Cam Ward. You brought in, Carson Beck from University of Georgia there. So this is a 2-part for you. One, how is the offense going to shift to more accommodate for Carson based, moving from Cam? And then could you give us an update on, Carson's injury and how he's progressing, and what is his outlook look for you guys in the fall?
Well, we're thrilled to have had Cam, and we're thrilled to have Carson here now. And, we never look for the next, like when we had Justin Herbert out west, we didn't look for the next Justin Herbert. We looked for the first Cam Ward, and we're looking for the first and best version of Carson Beck. So Carson Beck has as good of experience as a quarterback as you can have. He's played in monster games, and he's played at high level. And he is ultra competitive, and his football IQ is off the charts. It didn't take long to realize that he's a team player and that his work ethic is also through the roof. So even though he missed spring practice, his participation was in a limited manner, but soon after he has been cleared, and he's been participating and doing everything with our team for several weeks. And that's a lot of opportunities. Nowadays in college football, guys run their own practices and whatnot, and they get almost like an entire, spring session on their own off to the side. But what we see is, like I mentioned, a high-level elite competitor that has played at a high level, that is, and this I think is the best part, that is hungry and driven, not just to establish himself as one of the premier players in the country. He, like Akeem, like CeCe, like Wes, their interest is to make Miami better, to go win. And I think when you combine those things, and you combine an offensive line that really prides itself on working hard and protecting and running the ball well, and a lot of pieces around it, and an improved defense, this is the right place, this is the right time, and these are the right people. And I think his relationship with Shannon Dawson and the rest of the offensive staff, particularly the offensive line coach, Coach Mirabal. It's a tremendous partnership, and so we're looking forward to getting on the field and making it work.
Coach, your last question. Same row, just a couple of further down to your right.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Coach Cristobol, in terms of you and your history as a player, you know what it's like to win a championship, multiple championships at Miami. And as a coach, you know, it's been a while, and it's been something that's kind of been since before your time. Miami's had the talent, it's had the opportunities, but it just seems like a little bit of can't get right-itis or something like that that's prevented it. What is that next step? How does this team take that next step to returning to that glory?
Well, first of all, I'd say I disagree with you with Miami's had the talent. I mean, we got here in 2022, and I remember, you know, watching film and saying we got a lot of work to do, and I think this is the best way to put it, to summarize it. We were on a tarmac, and we asked the pilot to delay. This is a flight during recruiting and fundraising where Miami was on the verge of not having a player drafted for the first time in I don't know how many decades. And then finally, late in the 7th round, a player was selected. So that, to me, to that statement, Miami did not have the talent. And Miami had not recruited to the level that Miami is supposed to recruit. And now you fast forward 3 years later, now Miami is coming off a 10-win season. Now Miami is 6th in the country in players drafted, with double-digit combine invites, with double-digit wins, and with the #1 pick overall. So the steady progress and trajectory is a product of a lot of people, players, coaches, staff members working really hard to get Miami